and Candace Marte, one of the top point guards of the class of 2023, commits to, drumroll please, a gap year. Yeah, you heard that right. A gap year. I'm home and I'm on a gap year, and to do that, I had to withdraw from school and give up my D1 scholarship that I pretty much been working for my whole life. Literally, what is it? I'm 18 now, so that probably would have been like around 10 years of my life probably been working towards that. At least that's what I thought. But things change. And the reason why I'm home is to actually work on my mental health. I'm gonna be real with y'all because there's no point in not being real. Because if this video is able to help someone else, and that's truly all I really want to do. That's why I'm putting this out here. Not so people can know or feel like sympathetic for me, but so that if anyone else is struggling in silence or needs a bit of help, that maybe this outlet, this video that I'm providing for y'all can be an outlet, you know? That's the main reason why I'm recording this. So yeah, give my D1 scholarship to be home. And well, this is completely unscripted, first of all. This is just straight from the dome, straight from the heart. So I've been struggling with my mental health for about 3-4 years now, since really the pandemic, I'd say. Since that started up, it's always been sort of rough for me, and things just kind of hit like a steady decline, you know. And I loved my high school team and my teammates, but being away from home was really challenging for me, especially in an environment where I didn't really know anyone outside of the team at the school that I was at. So it did make me come a bit more introverted than I already am. And if you know me, you know that I'm a little bit introverted. So that wasn't the greatest thing that could have happened, but it's hard to explain necessarily, just because I'm trying to find the right words in order to share with you and convey this to you properly of what really led to my decision of coming home. So with me, I tended to keep a lot of things inside. I felt like I had a cover, a persona to keep up for other people, despite it not necessarily being true to myself. Like, yeah, I'm quiet, but I also feel like I have a lot to share. I have a lot of thoughts going on in my head that I would like to share with other people, but don't necessarily know how. And then I also felt at the same time that if I did share, people would look at me differently than how they usually saw me. That was a big factor of why I didn't want to get help, and why it took me a long time, only recently, to say I actually might need help, and this is something that I can actually start sharing now. So it was a lot of ups and downs for me. It was definitely a lot of ups and downs. Like, some days I'd be able to feel like on the highest of the high, happy, but other days I'd be dead low, like dead at the bottom low. That's what I'm saying. Like, it made things really tough for me, especially it started affecting my play in a way. Like, I wouldn't speak up and be as much of a leader as I know that I should have been, because I was battling internally every second of every day. So it made me hard to kind of like be who I needed to be on the court, which I realized. And me knowing that I wasn't perfect and doing what I needed to do, or at least what I felt that I needed to do, affected me mentally even more, putting me in even lower space than before, because I'm like, I'm supposed to be one of the top point guards, right? And my play in the last year, you guys probably wouldn't even know how I was feeling, because I did show out, I did do what I technically needed to do, but at the same time, I wasn't fully there in my responsibilities. Like, I wasn't the most vocal leader last year, and that's again because of what I was going through inside and not wanting to seek help for it. So, and knowing that, again, like I said before, knowing that I wasn't being perfect, I feel like I have a problem with maybe perfectionism in a slight bit. That could have also hindered my mental health and brought me down a bit, you know. Now, although I said that this started in the pandemic, it could have started before that, but just at a smaller scale, because basketball had always been like my saving grace, something I'd go to find relief, to find community, to find help, love, warmth, comfort. Because even in grade school, I obviously didn't have that many like companions and stuff like that. So school has always been something that was tough for me. Not academically. Academically, I was fine, but in terms of the community and friendship standpoint. So with that, basketball is what filled that gap, filled that hole in my chest, in my mind, that gave me that safe space to come to just ball out and be me, you know? But then eventually, somewhere around grade 10, the switch flipped and basketball wasn't necessarily saving grace. It just became something I was doing, mostly because I was losing myself, and I didn't think to put any measures in to stop that. Here's a little backstory of like what I'm talking about with the measures in to stop that and stuff like that. But I'm a really creative person. I'm also a bit of a nerd. I love superheroes. I love anime. I love writing, reading, all that sort of stuff. But when grade 10 came, summer of grade 10, when the summer of grade 10 came, I started losing all the stuff that sort of made me me. I wasn't reading comic books. I wasn't drawing. I wasn't writing. I wasn't doing something as simple as playing video games because I like to play video games. I wasn't doing anything except for going to school, going to practice, eating and sleeping. Repeat. For some people that may sound like a dream, but for me, not being able to foster that creativity, which for my whole life has kind of been that core piece of me, really made it difficult for me to keep going. Really made it difficult for me to be me, because I'm someone that's all about self-expression, right? So not necessarily being able to self-express myself in those creative or nerdy natures. Again, I'm doing this whole thing without notes, so just without notes or scripts, just bear with me. But as I was talking about with the creative side, that was a big piece of me that I wasn't able to like foster and grow, because I was slowly losing myself every day, and because of that, other things suffered. I still got good grades because, again, because I'm somewhat like afraid of failure, but at the same time, I wasn't putting as much effort into my schoolwork, into myself, into my health. I was still putting the effort in basketball because, again, like I said, afraid to fail, afraid to have people see me in a different light than they usually saw me, as like this extremely hardworking leader, quiet killer Cadence Marte. You know, that's why I wanted to be seen by everyone. I didn't want anyone to see me as so. I regarded emotions as being seen as soft, and soft is one thing that I didn't want to be seen by other people. That's why I kept my emotions at bay. And most people will be like, you don't smile, you don't laugh, you don't do this and that. And I'm like, inside I'm like, I do, but for you guys, I like to keep up this front to make sure y'all see me the same as everybody. And clearly that wasn't very healthy, but that is what I did, which also contributed to my sort of downfall. Or I'm a big English buff. I do like some Shakespeare, so I'd say descent into madness. That could be a little extreme, but I don't know, calling it that is just something that's interesting to me. But yeah, every game, every practice became extremely difficult, because if I wasn't perfect in a game or practice, I'd immediately start beating myself down. Mentally, physically, emotionally, all different ways. Not treating myself with the sort of respect that I would treat others, because it's me, and I'm like, why can't I be perfect? Why am I not doing this right? Why am I not feeling the way I should feel? Like, for most of grade 11, I was barely there. I felt like I was watching myself behind the TV during games, during real life, just literally everything. Everything was behind like a set of mirrors, a set of blinders, and it was really affecting me. It was affecting my play. It was affecting how I was able to interact with people, including my family. My relationship with them did suffer a little bit, and I was still conscious at that time, like, where I wasn't really there, I was still conscious enough to know that this is not how it should be. This is not how families should feel, at least to me, because I'm sort of withdrawing from them. And me knowing that but not being able to do anything about it really, really hurt me and got me down, you know? Made things rough. So, again, this is all contributing to why I'm home now. This is last couple senior years of high school that I'm talking about right now. And by the time it came to committing to a school, because the plan was always to come back for a fifth year, because truly, because of my mental state, I didn't necessarily feel like I was ready for university at any capacity when graduation came. I felt like I was so lost in not knowing who I was or what I wanted, how I felt. I was in a dark place mentally, so I didn't really feel like I was ready for any of that. But then the offer came, which I'm so grateful for. The commitment came, which I wasn't necessarily excited about, but I wasn't excited about anything. I couldn't really feel in general a lot of things. I was numb for most of the part. Yeah, I had my highs, yeah, I had my lows, but most of the time I was numb, and it was terrible. It was a terrible feeling to be numb about games, birthdays, holidays, fun events that are supposed to be fun. It made it difficult. It didn't feel like I was really living. And that's actually how that sort of feeling is how I landed myself in the hospital at the end of April, right after the BioSteel games. I was actually hospitalized for a bit due to my own actions. And this is not, again, to make anyone feel sympathetic. This is just so people know that it's regular to not be okay. Like, people at all capacities are going through this, you know? It's not just, oh, if you're going through something, you're weak, you can't handle this. This sport ain't for you. Because you could still be going through stuff and do this. I was doing it for a long time, but it just kind of came to a halt with me. It just got too extreme, and I waited too long to get help. Or truly, I didn't really get help in the first place. It came to something so drastic for me to be forced to get help. That's what I'm trying to say to you guys, is like, don't be afraid to speak up. Like, speaking up and asking for help is the strongest thing you can do. One of the strongest things you can do in this world. I can't stress that enough. It's hard, and I know it's hard. But being able to do that not only will affect you positively, but also the people around you, knowing that they can put love and effort into you to make sure that you're safe, to make sure you're happy, to make sure that you're here. Now, without having a script or any notes, I can confidently say that this wasn't the best video ever made. Definitely not, especially with my janky setup and lighting. At least y'all get to see a bit into my life with my shelves. Obviously, you can see sneakers, basketball, and superheroes. And that's another thing to know. I still love the game. Like, I was tearing my heart out for Stewie in New York every game in the playoffs, despite them ending up losing. I still play NBA 2K with my father. I still watch the NBA games and cheer for my favorite player like Westbrook. Like, I still love the game. I'll still play the game. I still want to be involved. If I can help out by coaching help out by being able to coach or like assistant coach, help out any way I can, the local schools around me, the local teams around me, I'll do that, because I still love the game. But I just realized that at this moment in time, this 17, 18-year-old virgin of Cadence Marte, she cannot play basketball and work on herself and her mental health at the same time. It just didn't seem feasible for me. And that's why I'm home. That's why I'm on this gap year, to help me find stuff out about myself. And truly just create a life where I can be happy in. Because it's been a minute since I've actually been happy, but ever since I've been home, I've been working on that day by day, just to be present, to work on my moods, so I can be happy. I can be here. I can work on building relationships back again with my family, with the people around me, and most importantly that I feel, or second most importantly to the family thing, but being able to help other people. I created a Discord group chat under my brand Quack Conscious for athletes. I call it the Athletes Corner. It's for us to basically talk and get to know people beyond sport, because that was something that sort of affected me. Just being known as straight an athlete, a basketball player. That's all I was. I lost any sort of my identity. All sorts of it, basically. Which is why I felt like this group chat would be a good thing for athletes, so we can really not lose that side of us, while also being able to be athletes, but not lose sight of who you are and what you like to do outside of the sport, because that's very important. The LeBron James campaign, more than an athlete. So that was the main goal of that group chat, and it's just getting started now, and I'm really excited to keep that going, and hopefully I'll be able to help people along the way. And I hope that this video is the further second step to that, because I want people to know that they're not alone. That's the biggest thing, knowing that there's other people going through it. No matter what, like no one's situation is less or more than the others. Everyone's situation should be guarded with equal importance. And I think knowing that, and knowing that you're not alone, can really help someone out. Can make them think that getting help maybe isn't the worst thing in the world. That asking for help and showing a bit of vulnerability is actually the strongest thing a person can do. And that's really what I wanted to convey in this message, because me just sharing this with you guys, I feel like it is a display of strength. Being able to come out here, share my story in the hopes of helping others. That's really the main goal with this, as I've said before. But last thing I want to share before I turn off this rambling video is that if you need help and you want to start small, you guys, my fellow athletes, or just anyone in general, you don't have to be an athlete. You can contact me if you want. Maybe we can go back and forth just sharing some ways to work on actually asking for help, or just finding ways to get better little by little, because I've been through a lot, and through that I've also learned a lot. I'm still in the process of healing myself. I'm not perfect yet. Well, imperfection is our natural state. So being perfect is impossible. And that is something that, although I just made this up here, that is something that I revel in, and that I know to be true. So that also gives me comfort that imperfection is our natural state. So me having these, some of these mental health issues, it's just a part of who I am. It's just a part of who I am. That's not something to be ashamed of. And I think knowing that is what's helped me want to get help and share this with other people, knowing that it's who I am. It's what makes me Cadence. It's what makes me me. And I appreciate that, because I could say this for the first time and I don't know how long. This is why I'm smiling. I can say this for the first time in I don't know how long, but I love myself. If you asked me to say that last year, 3 months ago, I wouldn't be able to say it, but I'm finally able to say that now that I'm home and working on myself. I can say that I do love myself in all capacities, no matter what, no matter if I'm depressed, anxious, bipolar, taking medication, not taking medication, no matter what, I love myself. This is me. And I hope you guys can feel a similar way, no matter what your personal story is, because I believe that self-love is one of the most important things in this world. You gotta do what's right for you at the end of the day, you know? You gotta make sure that you're safe, that you're okay. So, yeah, don't be afraid to speak out, because that's truly, again, I can't stress this enough. This is truly the biggest display of strength, being able to speak out and say, hey, I need help. And even to start like this, even to start something like this, is to check on your friends. To check on the people around you, like genuinely check on them, not just because you need something from them, because you want to know how they're doing. You want to make sure that they're okay as well. Check on your peers. Legitimately ask them how they're doing. If they need help, if they need someone to talk to. This is how it starts. This is how we create a community of everyone feeling safe enough to share, to build, to get better, to let emotions pass. So I think this is the beginning of something. And again, I'm home, but this is one of the first decisions I've truly made for me, and I think it's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. There's gonna be ups and downs on this road, but I'm prepared for it, and I got a great support team with my family around me. So I think that this is truly the beginning of something great. So if you listen to this whole thing, I really appreciate you. Really appreciate you guys, because this has been a long time coming. I wouldn't have been able to share like something like this last year, definitely not. But I finally reached a place where I'm satisfied enough where I'm able to share and actually act on ways to help people out. So again, this is only the beginning, and I thank you so much for tuning into this. So peace out.